Davey VTV, Davey V with you, back in beautiful Mount Hope Cemetery in Rochester, New York. And I was actually documenting how the city of Rochester, New York continues to neglect and abandon folks here, right? And disrespect their final resting place by neglecting their graves. And then I realized that I was right around the corner from the grave of Craig Hurd, which may sound familiar. Craig Hurd may sound familiar to a lot of you. If you follow Davey VTV, if you followed my videos for years, I actually made a short film about Craig Hurd in 2003. The film is called RPD Badges of Dishonor, Corruption, and Murder. I'll include the link in the description to this video so you can check it out. Basically, on June 10th, 2002, Craig Hurd, who was 14 years old, was executed by Rochester, New York police officers Serge Savachev and Hector Padham. And, like a lot of teenagers, right? He made some bad decisions. He hung out with the wrong crowd. And on the morning of June 10, 2002, Craig Hurd was basically joyriding in a stolen car. And the RPD, the Rochester, New York Police Department, had lots of opportunity to take him into custody. They spotted him at least once, hours before they executed him. And basically, they didn't, stop him, arrest him, detain him. Instead, they waited. It's almost like they hunted him and they stalked him down, basically. And in a dead-end alley called Girton Place off of Park Avenue in the city of Rochester, New York, Craig Hurd was executed. He was shot in the head in a dead-end street. They claim, Rochester, New York police officers claim that he was driving towards them. The truth was that he was cornered. He was scared. And I do believe, while I don't condone the choices that these young people make, especially nowadays with the stolen cars, I do believe that many times, in fact, I'm gonna call it what it is. The majority of the time, police officers don't necessarily have to shoot, right? They shoot many times because they want to shoot. And I truly believe, and I always will, that Craig Hurd's case is one of those that shows that the two Rochester, New York police officers really didn't have to shoot, but they wanted to shoot, and they did, and they executed this young man. So he is buried here. Also, I have to call out the family because for years, basically Craig Hurd's mother won a $350,000 settlement, a wrongful death lawsuit against the city of Rochester, New York, for Craig Hurd being killed by the police. And she neglected his grave for years. So I have videos on here that for years, in fact, I'm going to put a little clip of one here in a second. For years, the only marker marking Craig Hurd's final resting place was a cheap plastic funeral home temporary marker, which is what they use when somebody is buried. And I had to expose what was going on with Craig Hurd for years until finally they dipped into that $350,000 settlement, I guess, and they finally gave Craig Hurd the respect that he deserves by giving him this stone, this gravestone that you see right here.
In June of 2002, 14-year-old Craig Hurd was executed by Rochester, New York police officers Serge Savachev and Hector Padham. Craig's mother, Tammy Westbrook, received a wrongful death settlement from the city of Rochester in the amount of $350,000. But despite having received the settlement, Craig Hurd doesn't even have a gravestone to mark his final resting place in Rochester's Mount Hope Cemetery. Only an old, weathered, temporary funeral marker marks Craig Hurd's abandoned grave.
So very, very sad story. And again, if you have young children or young relatives, maybe nieces or nephews or grandkids, please talk to them. Many times, kids make the wrong choices and they think somebody's their friend when really in reality they're not. And I think that's what happened with Craig. I'm not excusing the fact that, he was up to no good basically, but I often wonder, and it's very sad actually to think about what would he would have become. Maybe he would have chosen the right path. I mean, he was young, 14 years old. And it's just very sad. And I really, truly don't believe that Rochester, New York police officers Serge Savachev and Hector Padam really had to shoot. But, I'm going to be honest with you. Only them two and God know what happened. So it's in God's hands. And if, which I believe that it is true, that they didn't have to shoot, I hope that Rochester, New York police officer Serge Savachev and Hector Padam are haunted by the fact that they executed a 14-year-old boy. I really do hope that it torments them and it haunts them daily. And like I said, only they know, did they really have to take this young man's life? And obviously God knows, and that's in God's hands. But this is a story that's very personal for me, that I've covered for years since it happened, since the morning literally that it happened, and that I made the film called RPD Badges of Dishonor, Corruption, and Murder, and it features Craig Hurd's story. Again, I'll include the link below. Very, very sad case. And whenever I come here to my Hope Cemetery, I try to make my way over here and say hello to Craig. Rest in peace, Craig. As always, thank you for watching Davey V TV.